All right, we got the GMRS radio. You guys know what GMRS stands for? It was a really bad joke. I'm sure somebody knows what it stands for. I can't say it on here because they'll ghost my video. I'll get in trouble, etc., etc. Anyway, can't say it. Anyway, so this was $14 at the thrift store. Some jackwad cut the cord like that short on this thing. Like, look at that. They cut it that short. And then they had a little cigarette lighter plug in here, which actually is a decent one. It's made out of Bakelite or something really hard. But it's also the easiest way to have all sorts of problems because there's too much voltage drop on this in a cigarette lighter. You're drawing too much current when you have a 40-watt radio. For even a CB radio could cause problems. And that's only 5 watts. This is 40 watts. You know, I've done it before with 2-meter radios, and people are like, dude, you're motorboating. You're making funny noise because you're starving for power through that stupid cigarette lighter. And then eventually you're going to cause so much voltage drop and heat that you're going to pull too many amps and blow the fuse on the in the vehicle. Anyway, so let's get this thing hooked up. I need to find the dummy load. I don't know where I put it, so give me 1 minute. All right, I got the good old Radio Shack dummy load, DC to 500 megahertz. It's only rated at 15 watts, but trust me, it'll handle way more than that. You just don't key it up for a long time. Here's the radio. We got a power supply, 23 amp power supply. Let's move this over here so that I can get the camera out of my way. I do have a regular antenna that I might be able to see if we can hear anything on. Let's turn the power supply off before we hook the radio up. Put my coax jumper on the radio, and we have the box right here. Let's see. Kind of have a limited amount of space here, so the one thing that I like about this is it's dedicated GMRS. You're not using some Mars modded ham radio that isn't designed to operate on this frequency. Okay. But we don't know if it transmits. We don't know if somebody burned it up. We don't know anything. I'm going to try to reclock this to where I can actually just set it up here. I just need to be careful. I don't want to scratch the paint by putting something metal on top of it. But let me come in here. Okay. We can see it now. Now I'm very curious if this is the same ICOM plug. Come on. Okay, button works. Okay, let's turn up the volume. Okay, where's the squelch? Alright, let me turn this down. Okay, channel 1. Okay. Okay, TX on. Let's see if we can go through the menu. Okay. Alright. That's scan. We don't want that. Alright, let's just look and see. Alright. It must be on low power. So it's on the low power. On low power, we're doing about 4 watts. Okay. Not sure how to go through the menus. Right. There's no push buttons on these. Alright. There's the tone squelch. DCS. Alright. It says PLVL. Talk off. Compression, mute, call, TOT, squelch, lamp. So this is obviously going through the menus. Let me move the camera where you guys can see what's happening here. Alright. Alright, we got channel 1. Let's turn the flash off. Let's see. Alright. So it looks like menu, long press, and then this button here goes through everything. These two are up and downs. Okay, so APO, so if I want to select the squelch, I can turn the squelch off. Okay. And now we should have noise. But we don't. So I'm not sure what's up with that. So we have more to do. Okay. Okay, there's got to be like a confirm. See, it's not changing my squelch. So I need to come in here and turn it off. And then but it ain't working. Maybe the select button. Okay. Alright. Now we have lamp, repeater, restore, TX on, talk off. I don't know what talk is. Compression off, mute off, call, timeout timer 180 seconds, squelch off, lamp, restore. Okay. Right. One of these is going to be like the power button. And I think it does a scan. I need to turn this off. Okay, that's enough. So apparently it starts to transmit that. Alright. I don't know how we would actually bump up the power on this, but it is set to low. We can see it says low. So I guess we'll have to read the manual. Now, let me grab an antenna here and just get an idea, like, what kind of match we're gonna have on this antenna. This is not even by any means like a GMRS antenna. It's weird, it made like no difference in the sound. Very little SWR. Okay. Oh, they've locked you out to low power on the whatever channels. So this radio will not allow you to do high power. So watch this, will now be high power. Oh, we're on SWR though. 40 watts. Let me move it to where you can see it. Okay. Cool. Okay. So this is the total type accepted radio. It's not going to let you operate where you shouldn't operate. I don't know what any of the channels are without the frequency. So that's why I don't like GMRS radios. And why does it only have 22 channels? So what it should have is 22 channels plus all the repeaters, and it doesn't seem to do that. So let me see here. I have to find a repeater that I can chunk, which they always keep everything secret squirrel, and you got to go to mygmrs.org and all that, and they don't always advertise them, and it's very, very, very hush-hush crap. A lot of gatekeeping going on. That's why I don't do GMRS. But I found this radio and it was like 14 bucks. Yeah, I'll buy a $200 radio for 14 bucks. And you know, if there was a bunch of local guys here that were cool, that were on GMRS, then it would be kind of neat to have it here in the shack. But we can't even get the local hams to really operate on 2 meter simplex or anything like that. So forget about it, man. But yeah, it's a cool radio. And you can just set the tones and stuff like that and all that. But I really don't like to be locked into what I can do with the radio, and this thing is very, very locked in. Although it is 40 watts, so I'm not sure which channels are restricted. Channel 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it goes 1 through 7, and then it skips And he goes, and there's no 8 or 9 or 10 or 11 or 12 or 13 or 14. It goes to 15. And then for some reason, let's see, it wants low power on 17. Okay, anyway. Now with the squelch open, he obviously can't scan. So, let's go into our menu. Okay, squelch needs to be at least on 4 probably. Select. Okay. And then let's see here. We would go let's just see if there's anything else on here that we need to know about. APO off, TOT, call 01, mute off, compression off, talk on, TX on, restore, repeat on or off. Okay, well, we need to. Oh, it times out too fast. Okay. Okay, select. Okay. Lamp, squelch, APO, TOT, call, mute, comp, talk, TX, restore, REP, repeater on, lamp. Okay. So now it should maybe give us some extra channels. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it goes all the way up to 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay. And then it goes up to 15, which is a repeater. 16 is a repeater. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Interesting. So low power on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, no 8. And then high power on 15, 16, and 17 is low. 18 is high. 19 is high. 20 is high. 21 is high. 22. These last couple ones can be either simplex or duplex. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 has the option of that. Now, I don't have any tones programmed. I would need to look up a few things. Let me try something real quick. So I don't even remember my GMRS call sign either. I had to look it up, but it, like, I have no idea what it is. It's like WRV or something, but I don't know what it is. Okay, so AI overview says that channel numbers, GMRS uses 30 channels, with channels 1 through 22 being shared with FRS, and channels 15 through 22 also used for repeaters. The 462 main channels, these are channels 15 through 22. They are used for simplex communication or repeater outputs. 462 interstitial channels, these are channels 1 through 7, and they are used for simplex. And it doesn't say anything about 8 or 9 or 10 through 15. Okay, the 467 channels, these are channels 15 through 22. They are used for repeater inputs. 467 interstitial channels. I don't know what the hell that means. These are channels 8 through 14, and they are used for simplex communication. But they're not on this radio. It does not have it. I don't know why. Power limits. GMRS radios can operate at higher power levels than FRS radios, up to 50 watts for mobile, repeater, and base stations, while FRS radios are limited to 2 watts. GMRS requires a license from the FCC, while the FRS does not. Basically, with the power limit, if you stay on FRS with 2 watts, no license is required. If you want to run higher power and you want to use the repeaters, you need to get a license. But they don't behave very well on any of the repeaters I've ever heard, so I'm not really sure why they would follow the rules either. Okay, so what I'm looking for is the chart to tell me what channel is what, and why do I not have 5 through 14, because they're half a watt. That's probably why. Channel 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and 13, and 14 are half a watt. And these other are 2 watts. And the spacing is 12.5. Okay, 2 watts. That's interesting that they would show that. Now, what they say that they're allowed to be used on GMRS, but the bandwidth is actually different for GMRS. It's 20 kilohertz. Interesting. For the first 7 channels, and then what was it? 8 through 14 is narrow and limited to half a watt. And then you go back up to 15 is 20 kilohertz wide, 50 watt limit. So let's see. So channel 15 and 16 would be the popular ones, I think, around here. 46255 and 46255. And the repeaters, so it'd be on channel, then these are the old channels. So current, I don't know what old is. It's just all half a watt or something. Interesting. Midland and Cobra extra channels. Midland and Cobra make radios with up to 38 extra channels for a total of 40, 50, or 60 channels depending on the model. These extra channels are simply existing FRS, GMRS frequencies with hard-coded tones and fixed power levels on the 4, 6, 7 channels. Interesting. All right, so we need channels 15 and 16, and what I'm going to do here is I will guess the PL tone, which is funny because, you know, these guys are like gatekeepers, but so 16 should be 575, and what we want to do is come in here and we need to roll the squelch back, like really just turn it off, because we won't probably be able to hear it. Okay. All right. I don't want DCS needs to be off. Oh Lord, this knob is not the friendliest for turning. Jesus Christ. I don't want DCS on. Okay. I don't know if it's on or not. That's tone squelch. DCS. Okay. So apparently it's just whatever one you push. So, I've actually got a radio that has the correct frequency in it. And I just heard something right there. Alright. And there's like an international travel one, but they don't honor that. This stupid thing turned on the DCS. Yeah, there we go. $88.5. So anyway, I don't know what the tone is without grabbing the other radio, and basically the antenna I have is not designed for GMRS, and it's probably not going to reach any repeaters. There's a couple different ones that are on the same frequency, and so I tried both of them, but nothing works so far. There's probably something I can find on one of these other ones, but I'll make another video. I've got a beam for 440, and I can adjust it for 462, 467. So anyway, but yeah, actually 467 is quite a bit off from where ham radio is, so just keep that in mind if you're going to try and use an amateur radio antenna on GMRS.